Hello everyone, welcome back to Classic Automotive Services. So this week we're just going to do a little bit of an update on what we've been doing this week. We're going to show you some spark plugs and the differences, as I mentioned last week about the difference between the Champions and the NGKs, especially in the Stags and the other Triumphs. So I'll talk you through them, as I've got a couple now which I'll show you, and why it's also important to run the correct spark plug in your vehicle. But this week we've got the Wolseley painted, so that's painted and all sorted out. All we've got to do is wait for it to go off for a few days, and then we'll flat and polish it and start a reassembly on it. The bonnet and boot are also painted. I've just got the doors left to do. So once that's all been flat and polished, I can then mask it up and put the pinstripe back on it, because this being a Wolseley actually had a painted on pinstripe, so I'll have to mask it up and put the pinstripe on it. But we are, touch wood, well on target for getting it done for the show that it's going to. We've got a new windscreen rubber for it, hence why the screen was taken out before it's painted. So that's good. I think they come from was it ANG? I think it supplied them. Let's have a look. Yeah, a company called ANG. They're quite well known in the classic car world. They do a lot of different parts and a lot of different things for different classic cars. So that's coming along very, very quickly, which is good. The Stag, I'm waiting on parts to come on in stock for that. I'm waiting just for a couple of odds and ends to come in stock so I can get that running right. Once that's running right, I'll get the bodywork sorted out on that. But that's just sat outside at the moment. So we've got a bit more room in here. So let's go and have a look at the spark plugs, and we'll show you what we mean by spark plugs. So what we've got a NGK BP6 ES, then we've got a Champion N12YC. Now on the stickers on the cars, if you've got the original sticker on the bonnet, it says Champion N12Y. The only difference between a Y and a YC is the C stands for copper core. It's the only difference. The C is a better spark plug. So that is the only difference in them. So the BP6 is the equivalent to the N12YC. And as you can see, if you come in close, if we line them up, there is actually a huge difference in the tops. Massive difference. The electrode is actually taller, it's less shrouded, so being unshrouded, it will actually run probably slightly warmer, which will also help burn off excess fuel and carbon, as it won't get trapped inside the actual plug so much. It also moves the spark into a slightly different area in the combustion chamber, which makes a massive difference in the way the fuel actually burns in the cylinder. So fit the correct Champion spark plugs to the Triumphs, you will notice a massive difference in the way they run. The NGKs, well, they're quite frankly crap in classic cars. Modern cars like them, they just go on forever, but they've got much more accurate feeling on them. So there's nothing wrong with an NGK spark plug in the right application, but use Champions in these Triumphs. That's what the engine was designed around to run on. So these designers, they're a lot cleverer than me and all you guys watching. They know what they're doing. So put the right plug in to Triumphs. These are the old plugs out the Stag. It had a mixture, like I said last time, the person that serviced it was a right cowboy. It had a mixture of BP6s in it. It had a couple of 5s in it, and it also had some 8s, BP8 ESs in it as well. So they weren't even a match set. So it's not surprising it weren't running very well. They're all brand new, but well, they're going to go in the bin, quite frankly. So I'm not going to keep them knocking around. They're rubbish. I'll keep the Champions as a spare, just as a backup, if I ever need a test one. I've got the Champions, but yeah, just put the right plugs into your car. Secondly, we're going to go on to oil. Now, I've seen quite a lot of things on Facebook, on the forums, people asking what oil to put in their classic car. Well, stay clear of anything cheap Halfords brand, unbranded ones like you get from motor factors and stuff like that. Stay clear of them. They're not the right oil. They haven't got the right additives in them. It might be the correct viscosity, but it won't be the correct oil. There's only 3 oils that we run in our classic cars here. The first one is the Castrol Classic 2050, as that's basically what they left the factory with. So if you've got an everyday classic car where you don't really do a great deal of mileage, or you just use it now and again, 2050, great oil, and that's what we'll put in it. If you use it really regularly and you lean on it a little bit and actually work it and drive it quite spiritedly, we use the Valvoline VR1 2050 racing oil. It's actually about the same price as the Castrol Classic, but it's actually a much better oil. It is designed for racing, so it's got extra additives in it, extra zinc. It's called they call it ZDDP, I think it is, or ZDDT. I can't remember what it is now. I'm not going to read all of that. It's got a lot of zinc in it, which helps protect metal-to-metal surfaces like your cam followers, your rocker gear and rocker assembly. It really helps protect all of them. So that's what we use in cars which do a lot more miles and get driven quite hard, like the green TR7. The third oil that we use, if you've got a car which is a bit higher mileage, but you don't want to go through the extent of rebuilding the engine just yet, excuse me, but you still want to use it and you still want a good quality oil and you want to keep the oil pressure up, we use Motul 2060 racing oil, which it stays slightly thicker when it's hot, so that really helps with higher mileage engines. And again, if you've got a full race application, that's what we use in a full race engine. It just copes with the heat more better. It gives extra protection again compared to this one, but that oil is expensive. I think the last time I looked it up, it was just over £100 for, I think it was 8 litres. They do it in 4-litre cans. And to do an oil change on most cars, you're going to need 5 litres plus. So it is quite expensive oil. But you pay for what you get. But most of the cars that we do, we recommend putting the Valvoline 2050 VR1 racing in it, unless you specifically want something else. But you'd have to have a good reason to want something else other than them 3 oils. Cost, you shouldn't really bring cost into the oil. If you want cheap oil, you're going to get a cheap result and you're going to damage your engine. At the end of the day, it's the blood that goes around your engine, so look after it, do regular changes and use top quality oil and you won't have an issue with it. But they are the 3 oils that we use, and we will only use them oils. Gear oils, again, we use Castrol throughout the whole range. We use their Axle oils, their gearbox oils, because they're some of the best out there for oil. So yeah, put high quality oil in your car. If you've got a classic car and you're trying to run it on a shoestring, it will be unreliable and it will give you issues. Unfortunately, classic cars are not a cheap hobby anymore. So if you think it's going to be cheap, then you shouldn't really be owning them. Put good quality parts and good quality product in your car and you won't have an issue. So that's oils covered and spark plugs covered. We haven't really got a lot more for you guys this week as we've been busy on the Wolseley. We did have a little car in yesterday. It was only a Rover 75 for some brake issues. So not yesterday, Saturday. I delivered it back this morning. Had some brake issues which we sorted out. It's actually the woman that owns the Stag. We've done it as a bit of a favour because it's not really the sort of thing that we usually do. We're primarily classic stuff. So we had that to do as well. So we've been very busy, hence the late video this week. But I think that's all we've got for you guys this week. Please like and subscribe on the channel because it really is starting to go well now. We'll have a lot more progress on the Wolseley this week for you guys to see, as I think that might be doing quite well on the channel. Since we put that on there, people have started really watching. So we'll put a load more on there of that. We'll put some photographs in of the Wolseley throughout the stages as well, of it being primed and then painted. So we'll put some photographs in. We'll probably put them at the end of the video for you guys. So please like and subscribe. Enjoy hope you had a good bank holiday, and we'll see you next week.